Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. So in this video I'm going to be checking out the John Michael Deadly Rose Gen 3 darts. Now these were sent to me from Cuesoul, care of the player himself, but I'm not sure this is strictly a range that Cuesoul do, as it were. I think it's just like it says on the box, a custom barrel, and it's been commissioned by the player and they're sold as barrels only. I didn't see them on the Cuesoul site, but you can get them from the shop that John Michael runs, which is Darts Line, and I think you can buy them direct from him on Facebook as well, so I'll put the links up to that. But I think the other thing is that Cuesoul, if you particularly want any of the sets that are custom made, you get in touch with them and they'll actually make the set up, and that could be why they're a little bit more expensive, because they're not doing like big runs of the barrels, they're only doing short small runs. And because of that, the retail for 139.95 euros, which is about £120. So let's check them out. So as far as I'm aware, they're only available in 23 gram, they're 95% tungsten, and they're only in steel tip. And I think Cuesoul do offer the option of getting them in different weights if you contact them, if you want them in a different weight. But as I mentioned, the retail for £120. So the darts come in the cardboard packaging from Cuesoul, which is for the custom made barrels. But inside you've got a rather nice silvery grey aluminium case, and just squeeze that a little bit, and inside got a dense foam inlay, but obviously as you can see the space for the flights and stems and probably soft tips maybe are empty, and it's barrels only like I mentioned. So we'll have a close look at them. The darts fit with a silver point, and it's a front tapered, front weighted style, wider at the front and then tapering to the rear. But again, neat looking barrel from Cuesoul. But like I said, they're a custom set for John Michael, and it's got what Cuesoul call the oil paint finish on, which is kind of like a sandblasted texture, so that just enhances the grip a little bit. And fairly small lip on the nose there, so that's quite nice to see. And it's got the resin coloured hope ring, which is, whether I can get it in focus there, you'll probably see it better in the close-up, kind of a yellowy glitter with resin. But that grip, I'd say good level of grip that, and like I said, probably enhanced by that textured coating. And because it's front weight, it's going to work well for front grippers, but there's a fair bit of grip on that mid to rear section, so I'm sure mid to rear grippers who like a front weight style be happy with that. And it's probably grippiest on that wide part there because of the wide gap, but I think it almost feels a little bit more grippy on the rear, even though it looks the same grip. It just, maybe because it's, don't think it is wider space, it might be just because it's getting narrower and because of that wide gap there, but it does a slightly more grippy feel to it. But even though it's got like what I would normally call the dreaded smooth sections, because they've got that bit of texture to them with that coating, it's not as bad as it might be. You still get some grip from that, but good looking barrel overall. So the dart's got a tapered nose and a few lateral notches running through it, and you got quite a wide curved groove, and then some very thin rings, all with that oil paint finish on the top, and the rings have got some lateral cuts. And then you've got kind of a smooth section, I guess, with the John Michael name, but it's got that coating on, and that's got the hope ring there, which is I think a resin with kind of glitter in it, and actually looks kind of good like. But
it probably doesn't give you much grip really. It's more for looks, and then the rest of the barrel is the same kind of grip as what was on the front. Thin rings with lateral cuts and wide curved grooves in between, and then on the end of the barrel a tapered smooth section. So that's the super close look at the John Michael Gen 3 darts. Darts fit with a silver 26mm point. You've got a tapered nose which has got some lateral cuts, that's 6.5mm, and then a wide groove, and then a thin ring and groove grip with lateral cuts, 8mm, smooth section with the hope ring, that's 9mm, and then the mid to rear section is again same grip as what's on the front, thin rings and wide grooves, 19mm, and then a smooth tapered section on the end, 8.5mm, length is 51mm, wide is 7.35mm. 23.11 grams. 23.11 grams again. 23.10, so very nearly perfect. And just for the sake of testing it, put the Cuesoul rust, 24.45 gram. This is the balance with nothing attached and with medium in between short nylon stems and standard flights. The ring and groove sections are quite grippy, so I'd say 8, so high level grip. Alright, I'll just have 3 throws, and as you can see, put my green shirt on for the throwing part. Not that it's going to make me throw any better, but we all know green's the best colour, don't we? So, alright, let's have a look at these. Oh, I got a treble. It's definitely very front biased. I think that's possibly down to the fact that it's drilled out quite away from the rear. I think it was 19mm drilled out, so it's probably more front heavy than it would have been otherwise. But I suppose that's good if you're a front gripper. And that grip is actually quite grippy. I think the wide groove at the front is just making it even more grippy than I thought it was going to be. Well, yeah, it feels quite nice to throw. Just for the sake of trying it then, I'll try it from the mid to rear section. And again, it's got that wide groove there, and them lateral cuts on the thin rings. It is more grippy than you would think. Oh, I managed to treble. Oh, that one didn't come out my fingers right. But yeah, there you go. So definitely if you're a front gripper and you like a front weighted feel, which a lot of front grippers do, it's got a good level of grip there. But if you're a mid to rear gripper and you like a good level of grip again, I would say verging onto high level and you into your front weighted barrels, then again it's probably going to be nice for you. But obviously you've got like 3 sections: the nose, the little bit where the hope ring is, and the very end of the barrel where there's not a lot of grip there, so it will depend on where your fingers sit. But like I said, I kind of think these are not in like a big production run from Cuesoul, and I think that's partly why they're not so cheap. It's more like a short custom run, and I think the player John Michael, who's probably got them made, he's probably got so many sets made to sell, but I don't think it's something that Cuesoul have got like as a main model. But like they're doing with a lot of their darts now, if you want a particular set in a certain weight, they will make it in that weight. And with these being drilled out quite a bit, I should imagine that if they were only drilled out, say around about 8 or 9 mil, you'd get a fair bit more heavier. But obviously if you're going to go lighter, then they would drill them out even further. But if that's all they're doing, then maybe some people are not happy about that. Some people prefer if they change the dimensions rather than just drilling it out. But the effect of drilling it out quite a bit like that means it's a bit more front biased than it would be normally. So depends on what you like, I suppose. So there you go. I'll let you have a look at them in the gallery, and I'll see you on the next one. Happy darting.